All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be taking a look at When the Ocean Roars. This
Oh,
is a romance novel
yeah.
that's coming out, I guess, pretty soon. And you sent over the book blurb.
Right.
And I got to say, it's not your typical boy meets girl story.
Yeah, it's really interesting that they chose the UFC world as like the setting for this romance.
Yeah.
You don't
Oh,
typically see those two things together.
I know. And this is Charlsie Estess' new book. And she's had a really interesting life. She's done a lot of things like worked in finance. She's a mom of 2 sons, and she's done humanitarian projects like across 6 continents.
That's amazing.
So I'm curious, do you think that all of those experiences that she's had are going to bleed into the story at all?
Oh, definitely. I think that's something I'll be looking for as I read it because it's got to influence her writing in some way, right?
Yeah, totally. So I'm really curious to see how her life experiences kind of play out in the pages of this book. Okay, let's talk about the premise here. We've got Keane, the Golden Lion Temple. He's a prize fighter. He's about to enter this huge career-defining fight in Japan.
Right.
He's super focused, super disciplined, and then enters Ami Ono.
Yes.
And it sounds like they have this whirlwind romance during like his 1 day off from training.
Yeah, the blurb actually mentions that he's a Muay Thai specialist,
Uh,
which kind of made me think about how that might connect to the romance.
really? How so?
Well, I mean, Muay Thai is known for like brutal elbow strikes and clinches,
Yeah.
So it just makes me think like, is he gonna be like super intense and like all in with the romance in the same way?
Oh gosh, I hope so. That would be so interesting to see. And I mean, you're totally right, because the blurb says that he dives head first into this romance.
Yes.
But then, of course, things get complicated
Of course.
because there's a secret.
Always a secret.
Tommy's got a secret.
Right.
And that's where we get that forbidden love element.
Huh.
But, we've seen that trope so many times in romance novels.
Yeah.
Like star-crossed lovers from different worlds.
Totally. But you know what I'm hoping is that maybe there's a twist on the trope.
What kind of twist?
Well, what if Ami's secret kind of like flips the script? Like maybe it has something to do with like defying expectations.
Oh, that's really interesting, especially knowing that Charlsie Estess is really all about empowering women.
Right, exactly.
So maybe she's taking this trope and just turning it on its head.
Yeah, and using it in a way we haven't seen before.
So I have to ask the big question here.
Yeah,
Will Keane win the championship and Ami's heart?
right. And can Ami actually break free from these family expectations and find love?
Because it sounds like her family's not going to approve of this relationship.
No, it really doesn't.
So it sounds like we're going to see some themes of surrender and defiance.
Totally.
And I think that's so interesting because, as a fighter, Keane is probably so used to being in control.
Absolutely.
So can he surrender to love?
Right. And will Ami find the strength to defy her family?
Oh, man, I am so excited to read this book.
Me too.
This deep dive has me hooked. A complex romance and intense mixed martial arts action.
I know.
Cultural clashes, personal liberation.
It's going to be so good.
So what do you think about the title, When the Ocean Roars?
Mhm.
What could it mean?
I don't know. It makes me think like, is it the intensity of the fight or is it like their emotions or maybe even the clash of their two cultures?
Wow.
It's really got me thinking.
Well, I guess we're going to have to read the book to find out.
I can't wait.
Thanks for joining me for another deep dive.